you know, my spirit animal is definitely like I feel like I'm not my spirit animal yet, but I am moving towards to being an elephant. So I'm gonna say my spirit animal is an elephant.
I believe that.
You know?
Because you do enjoy peanuts.
I like peanuts.
You do.
How do I know that? How do you know that?
I know these things.
I
do my research.
I like almonds and cashews, and I eat like a pigeon. You're so right.
And your memory is impeccable.
I mean, oh, impeccable because it's a pigeon?
No, impeccable meaning like, not actual P-E-C-K pecking.
You thought I was talking about food.
He was trying to peck.
So yeah, put your head here, please. Please, doggy.
He's all right. I think he's still sussing out the situation here with the lights and the cameras.
Oh, I see.
And all that stuff, and the people watching and listening to every word.
Oh, WD Elf.
How have you been?
Me or the dog?
Both.
I've been great. My album came out, my first album finally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been probably the biggest highlight of like my past 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
This is a full proper album because Ventura was considered to some as a bigger project.
But to be honest, I think it's an album too. But
I mean, call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
But this actually has more than 6 songs on it.
Yes. Though I think Ventura had like 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. Well, it started off as 6.
It started off as 6.
And then the extended version became 9 or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. But this one, you're right, yes. And then this was like 10 songs.
Yeah. So what changed? What helped to inform some of this material? Because there's singing in Spanish, you're singing about love, and you're singing about heartbreak.
Actually, none of the songs are about love.
You're not?
Not at all.
Then
there's songs about
re-listen to some of these.
Except for Already Yours and How's That Working Out. But like How's That Working Out, I feel like it's not about love. It's like about someone in your life that used to be really close to you, and then they've just disappeared from your life, and then you're like, did you find what you were so looking for? You know what I mean? That you had to like throw me away, basically. And that can be like a friendship. That can be, you know, a boyfriend or friendship.
Well, what was the catalyst for it?
Honestly, I was listening a lot to, God, how could I forget this name, especially right now? I don't know, the reminder.
Alanis Morissette.
What's the name? What's the name?
You Ought to Know?
So is it You Ought to Know or I Don't Know?
You Ought to Know.
Okay. I was like, because I had the track and I had the melodies that I liked, but I was like, I cannot find something to sing about this that has to do with the melody wasn't going with the lyrics, and I was like, because so first it was this song has gone through like 6 different songs, completely different meanings. The first one was like about how I didn't like to go outside, and the song was like about how I'm overwhelmed and I don't want to go outside. But then I was like, does it really go with the sound of the song? No, it didn't. And then I thought it was kind of like a petty sound. Like the entire song sounds petty, like the instrumental. So I was like, I think I have to go petty. Who is the petty queen? Alanis Morissette. I mean, not that she's petty, but she's pissed.
In that song, yeah.
In that song, she's definitely angry and being petty. And I was like, and I was listening to it and I was like, oh my God, like, it has to be, so like, you ought to know, or like, I don't know. Like, what could be as strong as that, but like in a different way? And I guess it's like, how's that working out for you? Which is like not really saying much, but it's enough.
Yeah.
Ish. I don't know. That makes sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a lot of times artists meld these really strong, powerful lyrics with sonics that totally don't match or sound happy to the angry or sad lyrics.
Yeah, right? Which I love too. But in this case, I was like, huh. And then Already Yours definitely is about love. Like, I think it's about feeling like afraid of like going into something new, because either there's like a few options. Either it works out and then you guys live happily ever after, or it doesn't work out and you break up. and you wasted time. But like to know which one is gonna be, you have to give your like your 100%. I was gonna say 50%. Your 100%, you know? So it's like that fear of like going into something new and you're like, oh, like am I really doing this again? But I'm already so into this person that it's kind of late, you know what I mean? But it's like trying to like maybe not fall in love, but like really to know you kind of have to go for it.
These life lessons that you learned in recent years?
I don't know if they were life lessons. I think it's feelings that I felt like I kept being square one. Like I met someone, I was like, oh, this person is so special. Like I'm gonna get married. Actually, I would not think I'm getting married, but I'm like, I love them. And then I'd be like, wait, is this person really right for me? Or, you know, I went through that a lot because I think I was like, I also don't think I knew what I really needed or wanted. Um, so I was also kind of, this is very relaxing. The past few years, I learned a lot about myself, mainly like about like who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What are my boundaries? When to put them? You know, that's kind of like what I've gone through the most past like 3 years.
It's interesting because there were a lot of life changes in the last few years as well,
Yeah.
right? Because you moved to LA,
Yeah.
you started working with people here in LA and in the industry more so than before. So, you know, work-wise and life-wise, they're converging and, you know, kind
Yeah.
of changing all at once.
Yeah. Which was like a very exciting thing, you know? And I feel very lucky. Like I have such good friends here. Um, like everyone, like it takes a while, but like everywhere it takes a while, you
Yeah.
know? Like that's something I've been talking a lot the past few weeks is like you're not supposed to just figure it out as soon as you get to a new country or a town or city, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it takes a while. And I think it takes 3 years or 2 years. 2 years to be comfortable with the place, 3 years to find like the right people and stuff.
Yeah. What was the most exciting thing moving to LA that you were really excited to experience?
I think it's so different from Panama, but I think the main thing is like how everything is so accessible. Like, oh, I want to buy a sewing machine, and like you can go buy a sewing machine. Or like, I want to get this type of calendar, and like you can go. It's like everything is so accessible. You
So how
know?
many sewing machines are in your house?
One.
Only one.
Yes, and then a lot of different colors of thread.
And what have you made with this sewing machine?
For a second, I was like, you know, I'm only gonna make clothes and I'm only gonna wear the clothes I make. And then I tried doing that, and it honestly was taking so long. Um, and
Well, what were you doing that you,
that I took so long.
yeah. Well, what was it interrupting?
It's just like, so the machine, like how it works is like you have to set it up in the right way. And it's kind of tedious
Yeah.
to know like what's going wrong sometimes. So then sometimes like one thing is not working and then you have to like go back and see the entire machine and like if you're not used to it and you're not quick with like figuring it out, it will take so long to like do everything. And but once you get the hang of it, you can get very quick with it. Which
Well, I can tell you did an amazing job with these pants. This jacket looks
thanks.
so rad with the carabiner on there. And
Is that how you call this?
I mean,
What is this?
what do you call it?
I don't know.
I call it a carabiner.
Clip.
Clip. Yes, you did. I mean, a great job with sewing the clip on.
The clip. No, I haven't, but I do fix my own clothes.
That's a great skill to have.
Yeah, like just like I fix like did my dresses, like
Yeah.
my shirts, if like I need to have them shorter or like, you know, I mean not jeans because my machine is not strong to do jean material, but like this, for example, I can do that.
It looks amazing.
I mean, I haven't done this.
Oh, I
I
take it
wonder if
back.
I've done anything.
I take it back. You look terrible.
You look awful. Oh,
You talked about finding a sense of community here, and you established yourself after a number of years.
yeah.
And you talked about family and things like that. Are they visiting you more often? Are they close by?
They've actually never visited really. Oh, never. That's not true. 2020, my little sister came to visit because I was going crazy because I just did a post about it on my Instagram. I posted this picture of like in 2020, like my first time in LA, and it was my first time working really. So, and I had a week and I had to do my first like uh basically like live performance, recorded live performance of like 5 songs like back to back. And I was so nervous. And also I was doing my cover for my album and like all the press pictures and everything and doing my session like music sessions for the first time. So I was so anxious that I peed the bed the night before. Like this one picture was taken. That's
Like
how I see.
literally.
Yeah, like I pissed the bed at night. Like I was so anxious that I also got vertigo one of the days. Never had vertigo ever in my life. But I was
Wow.
so anxious. Also, this is like in the middle of pandemic. And that was a moment like we all thought we were gonna die.
Yeah.
So I was like terrified of people.
Was that something that you normally experienced? Like
No,
such
peeing
anxiety
the
and
bed. No,
yeah.
never.
No?
No, I'm pretty chill.
I
But I
mean,
was so anxious around that
yeah.
time
Yeah.
because I think the pandemic, like everything was so unsure,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like we didn't know what was gonna happen, and but at the same time we have to like keep going with this music thing, and I'm like, how, what am I like? Am I doing this? But also like, are we ignoring that all of this is happening right now?
Is there also a photo of the bed?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
My
Did
sister
you
was
take a photo of the bed
no,
to commemorate the
I
event?
was kind of shocked, honestly, and I was laughing because I was like, I'm literally like 20 years old. Like, why am I pissing the bed? But I was so anxious, like so anxious that we get my you were talking okay, and I was talking about my little sister. So my little sister came to visit me
Yeah.
in that time, and that was the first time she had visited me.
You have a good memory.
Yeah. And that was the first and only time she had visited me because I called my mom. I was like, I literally, like, I'm so anxious. And she was like, I can't go, but Alex, like, needs to get out of the house because also she was not being able to, like, leave anywhere because she couldn't even go to school. And she was, like, in high school, like, maybe, like, sophomore year.
This is your sister
My little
who
sister.
drove you around and you had no license and
Yeah,
went
yeah,
viral
yeah.
on
Yeah,
TikTok.
she's the smart one. She's the one with the license. I now have a Panamanian license. I don't have a U.S. license, though. I don't understand the rules here.
Oh no.
In Panama, it's like you don't really have rules. Like you just like, I mean, yeah, sure, you have rules, but like you drive trying to like defend yourself, you know?
Just look out for the wild animal that's running across the road.
No, the people are the wild animals. You just have to be careful with like how you're like everyone's trying to get from point A to B, and like they're just gonna like,
Just get out of the way.
yeah, get out of the way. Like you kind of have to drive with purpose,
Interesting.
or you're not gonna get anywhere.
So you must be really excited that the robo-taxis, the Waymos and things are now
No, I don't
open
like
for
that.
everybody in
I
LA?
No.
No.
That's terrifying.
So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna
I
drive
want a
yourself or let the
car.
robot drive
No,
yourself?
I wanna drive, but also like how am I gonna buy like buying a car is expensive. Getting insurance is expensive. I already have to pay my bills. Like
Are you kidding me? You are Sofía Valdés.
yeah, that's what I want everyone to think. It's so tough, guys. Like I don't know. Things are so expensive. I'm like, so if I pay for the Uber, it's actually cheaper than if I am
Yeah.
But
Insurance and maintenance.
But then I also don't go out ever because I'm always like, ugh, it's so expensive. Like, why am I gonna use my money right now? If I could just stay in. And I love staying in.
So
You see the problem?
So you're being ushered around, hitching rides with friends.
Oh my God, you literally drooled on me, doggy. He's embarrassed by it. It's okay. You can drool on me.
I'm so sorry.
I don't care.
He's embarrassing.
Oh, you're so okay. You can drool on me. Go to sleep here. Thank you.
Going back to the album, it just dropped and whatnot. And
WDLs.
yes.
Not WDLs. WDLs. Not WDLs. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Not only singing in English, but you definitely took a big step in singing in Spanish.
Yeah.
You worked with Cuco and Danny Lux. Was this always part of the plan? Was this something that you were?
No, not at all. I mean, not singing in Spanish at some point. How it was gonna start, it was definitely something that I didn't know how I was gonna do, but I knew I had to do it because obviously where I'm from and like most of people, not most, most people are in the US, but there's a big part of like people in Spain and Panama and Colombia and Mexico that listen to me, and like obviously like it's an entire world that I want to be part of. So in that way, yeah, like I knew it was gonna happen. How I was gonna be introduced to it, it had to be right. Um, but I had already like this song Tacones por la Puerta written, and then we kind of like here and there like un momento, like there's like a lot of parts in the song where I sing in Spanish. Handful of Water was honestly like it's not on the EP, I mean the album, but like it wasn't my first EP, and that was like I didn't know how to say something in English, so I just said it in Spanish and we kept it. But like it was a mistake, you know. It was not a mistake. It was just like
It was more natural to just do it that way.
Yeah, in that moment. But with Kuko and with Danny was more of like a label introduction. But then we actually became really close friends, and like his mom would be there, his sister would be there, his cousins would be there, and it was like really nice to have that around, because like obviously my family is so far away that like having that around for a few days even is just so nice. And it's funny because I feel like we all had the same sense of humor. So I'm very happy I got to have that song with Danny. And then once like everything was done and we were like, okay, everything's mixed and mastered, there was How's That Working Out? And already I had Arthur Veracai, which is this really big maestro and like musician from Brazil that I have always like looked up to so much. He was already part of one of the songs, Tacones por la Puerta. And I was like, if we're gonna have another feature, at this point, it has to be a Latin like artist. It cannot be like some other person, because like, you know, there's clearly like a, how do you say? For continuity.
Continuity.
Like, I was like, I also like I want to have like another Latin artist, and I was like, who can I do it? And I remember like Kuko and I had worked before a lot together, but we had never finished like any songs or anything. So when we finally were able to, I was like, I sent it to Kuko. I was like, hey, would you be down to jump on this? And he was like, yeah. And then the next day he was at the studio with Alex Foos, and then he recorded it, and it was great. And we were happy.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
When I first heard it, I was like, wow, this makes sense, number one, and then number
You think?
two. Oh, absolutely.
But it's funny because
the
like
back and forth and.
But the funny thing is like that song was again finished, mixed and mastered. But the fact that Kuko was in it, I think it's so crazy, because it is a song Kuko would have if it was just all of them singing. And I thought it's just like weird enough for like Kuko kind of, it feels like Kuko even had written the song with me from scratch, you know? So I love that.
Yeah.
I love that we were able to collab
Bond
so well.
and collaborate, yeah.
Just like mesh so well, I guess.
One song that I find really interesting is Wild. It's just wild. It's.
What was that? What was that? What's that? Is it?
Dobby will go look.
Is it a spaceship? No, it was bathroom. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wild is wild.
Wild is
my
wild.
Favorite. Wild is wild.
It's like so atmospheric and.
It's crazy. I honestly think it's the best song in the Is it best song in the entire record, or my favorite song? I think it's so beautiful. Like, and it's crazy saying that because it's my song and I wrote it. But
you should be proud.
Yeah, I think that song is so me and Michael coded, like Michael Uzuru and I. I had written the song and he was like, I want drums. And I was like, drums? This is a folk song, you know? I mean, I didn't say that out loud, but I was like, you know, but I want to see what he does. And then he like brought in Dylan Wiggins, which he's just like, literally just to be around him is just see him perform, or not perform, just like play is like, it's crazy by itself. But he played the drums and he played the bass and he redid the guitars. And this song just like became its own thing. And I love it. That song, it is about love as well. It's kind of about realizing you don't want to lose yourself for someone after doing so for such a long time. And even you're like, I don't want to lose myself for someone, but like, what can I do to be with you? Even though you're still asking, how can I still be that person for you? So it's kind of sad, but also it's very like, there's a lot of naivety behind it. Like feeling wise and like young, like being young and like having like your first love and, or first big relationship and like you wanting to be perfect for them and trying to do anything. And even if you did and you try everything, it's still not enough, you know?
Yeah.
But then you kind of realize you just,
That's life in general. As much as you tell yourself, hey, look out, don't give in, and so forth, you still go for it. And you may not make the same mistakes 5 months down the line. You may catch yourself at 2 months down the line.
Yeah.
But it's hard to not fall.
Yeah. But I definitely think like, not saying when I wrote that song that was it, but it definitely was like, once that song was written, I was like, by the time I wrote it, I feel like a lot of me had changed already, and I don't think I would ever be that like I think I piss people off a lot now, but that's okay too, I have to put my boundaries and like I can't just be whoever people want me to be, it's just not gonna work.
That's what happens when you get older. You learn what works for you and what doesn't, right?
Yeah, but it's also hard because also like you go and that change happens so quickly sometimes. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but sometimes it's quick, and like I don't know. I don't know where we're going. I got distracted because he's so soft.
Well, a lot of times, like I said, you fall for that person or you pursue an opportunity and you think it's
even
good.
Even with like work or like a boss or anything like, or we're working for. It's like sometimes that's just not it. Like, and you like fully. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like desgastar. You te desgastas. Like you
realize.
No, like you wear yourself off. Maybe. Like when you're like wearing shoes and like you're walking and then the sole gets like all
worn down.
You then wore yourself down.
Wear yourself down, right?
And then there's like nothing left.
Yeah.
And it's like you were this like beautiful, pure person trying to be there for someone else and be perfect, but then like you then at the end there's like nothing left for yourself,
Yeah.
And that's something I'm trying to work on now as like the past few years. It's like I'm trying to do things for myself, and like at the end of the day, things that I've been putting out, even music, like they have my name. They don't have anyone else's name. I mean, yeah, sure, if you like go in the back and like you read, like, but I think it's important to just be true to yourself and your mission.
I think you're achieving it.
I'm trying so hard. I'm not trying hard, but it's like I'm trying hard in a different way to remind myself and to act on it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, is to actually act on these things.
Which is great because you just said that you're pissing people off. So that means you're doing something right because you're putting your foot down and
it's scary though. You don't want to piss people off.
I don't want to
piss anyone off. But like also like it is not out of pissing people off. It's out of like, sorry, like we're not aligned. Like I can't do that.
Right. You're not doing things to be a jerk. You're doing things because you have a vision and an objective for a goal that
and I know that if I were to not do what I know I need to do, it will forever chase me. And living with that is worse than pissing someone off for me. Like whenever I've done something for someone else and like just gone with it, I was like, to this day, I'm just like, why did I do that? Like, why did I do that? Like, why didn't I say no?
Well, that's part of growing up that people will say,
yeah, that is 100% part of growing up. This dog is everything to me. I love this dog more than I love myself.
He loves being sung too.
Oh, I'm a dog. Sorry. Oh, you're so beautiful, Just the way you are. When I see your face, the whole world stops and turns for a while. Why is this being recorded?
I love it. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good
Sorry,
to see
I was
you.
so like calm.
No.
It's just the dog made me so calm. WDF, not WDF.
Good to see you, Sophia.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Thanks.
I wonder when our next interview is gonna be.
Maybe
always
4 weeks from now, and when you're babysitting him.
Honestly, I would. Oh, actually, I can't. Never mind, because my roommates are allergic to dogs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
But hey, if I become rich in the next like year, and I have my own house, yeah, I'll
Okay.
keep them. I'll take care of them for you.
Anytime you're in San Francisco, you let me know.
Where in San Francisco do you live? Wait, sorry, I just started talking.
It's Sofía Valdés right here on B-Sides.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me.